Good evening and welcome everybody. So this is going to be a live stream where I'm going to do some jigsaw puzzles to pass the time, but also make myself available in case anyone wants to ask some questions or have a bit of a chat. So every now and then I'll be looking over to the chat to see if someone's posted a comment or similar. If not, I'll just go through and try and make some do the jigsaw puzzle and talk a bit about it. So what we've got here is puzzle's going to look like it's an aerial shot of Sydney Harbour Bridge. So with New Year's Eve, there's going to be a lot of people down there. There's people already building and a lot more people going in to look at the fireworks tonight. So I'll start by trying to work out the top edges and organize things there. So we've got a lot of Sydney landmarks that are visible. There we go. That's one at the top left. The Harbour Bridge, the Opera House, the Kirribilli is in there as well. So this is a electronic jigsaw. So when I get the pieces close enough to it, it automatically joins them up. So that's no, that's not the right piece. So I'll just keep going through. There we go. That's some that have joined up. And that looks like it matches up. And then we've got the top right over here, which looks to be that one over there. Then that's a big piece that matches up. So it does let me stack them on top of each other. Go through the general strategy of doing the outline, do the edges first, and then fill in bits in the middle. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit more. Might as well make it a little bit bigger for everyone watching. So we've got first noticeable piece here of the Sydney Harbour Bridge, I think. Oh, they'll be very similar to each other, very close to each other. If you do go into Sydney Harbour, you're likely to see, you're almost certain to see ferries everywhere. And we've got one that looks like it's coming in from Manly. If you ever get a chance to go take the trip over to Manly by ferry from Circular Quay, highly recommend it. You go straight past the Opera House and it's a very good journey. No, that's not quite right there. So we've got the bottom right section here. There we go. That looks like it'll match up as well. And one thing I'll be looking to do with these as well is to come back and check the subtitles afterwards. So if you're not sure what I'm saying as we're going through live, I don't think it can auto-generate subtitles live. If it can, it'll just do English. Then should be able to do auto-translate for that as well. That should be a bit of the Sydney Opera House. So, and that'll probably be there as well. Just do a quick run around about bits with the edges. Oh, there we go. That's a corner piece of the Opera House as well. Looks like we're missing a bit. I can't quite find the missing bit of the bottom, but we're going ahead regardless, and when we find it, it'll get the spot for it. So the harbour bridge will be about here. I think that's the right spot for it. And it's a very popular walk to go from one side of the bridge to the other, and it's a few people's daily commutes as well. So that looks like it'll match into the top. And I should be able to see the wakes of the ships to match up what where the piece goes. That should be another bit, because there's about an 8-lane freeway highway. It used to be a toll road where if you'd go across from north to south, you'd pay the toll. But if you went across from south to north, then it was free. With the idea being that people would, if you go across one way, you can go across the other. And now there's also a tunnel as well that splits off about here, goes underneath, and then comes back up around about here as well, and then works its way out. There we go. That looks in there. So the North Shore is the upper class place to be in Sydney. There's a lot of expensive houses there, but most of the offices and buildings are there. So we're starting to get the... I'll focus on completing the picture first. So no, it should be out here. Okay, so that's, yeah, we've got the bridge now, the last bit of the harbour, and that should be the bit of the CBD. So there's a train station right there, Milson's Point. If you're a tourist and that's the place to go, you could walk around to this side to get a nice view of the bridge, looking over towards the Opera House. I'll move all the pieces in closer and then make it a bit bigger and zoom across. There we go, that's about as big as I can make it at the moment. And it looks like a bit of the bridge that joins up to the North Shore. That'll be the last bit of the south side. Sydney Airport is way over here. And a bit more of the connectway. All right, so just a little bit more. So another point of note is this is Kirribilli House. It's a space owned by the government and the Prime Minister of the day. It's their Sydney residence. The official house of the Prime Minister is in Canberra. It's almost a stone's throw away from Parliament House. But if they're in Sydney, this is a place it's available to them. But I strongly recommend visits to the Opera House. Then there's the Botanic Gardens nearby. The Circular Quay, which is effectively the hub of all of the ferries. And the ferries will come out and go to all different areas as well. I'm pretty sure this is a Manly ferry, it's a larger one. There's the different sized ferries that go around to the different stops. And you've also got ones that will go up the river to Parramatta. And the trains will run across the western side of the Sydney Harbour Bridge. There's a track either way. There's about 9 cars, and I think over the course of the day they'll swap. So there's an extra lane going into the city of in the morning, and of the afternoon there's an extra lane going out. But there's a lot of areas to walk around as well if you can. There's nice spots to stand by there and just to watch the traffic go through. So I'll put this last piece in, and there we go. If you've got any questions, comments about the area, then leave a comment. I'll see if I can get back to you. I've been to the area a few times. Can't quite get there at the drop of a hat, but I can get, yeah, I'd like to go back there every now and then. I've got plans for that for next year. So I'll go back to collection and have a look at some of the other ones. I'll drop into kookaburra, one of the birds of Australia. It's noticeable by its laughter. Again, I'll start with the working with the edges. So there's the preview of what it looks like. That looks like to be the top of its head. I'm sure there's a way to tell whether they're male or female by the blue on the back of them, but I don't know enough myself, sorry to say. The bottom section there, so it links in. Add some of the top parts. No, I don't think that's the right one for it. Starting to snap together nicely now, so I've got, there we go. It looks to be the bottom right, and getting them together. So one of the good things about doing the jigsaw puzzles is it lets me use some images that I wouldn't otherwise really be able to use. The shape of some of the images, if they're ones I normally use are portrait, sorry, the landscape, and the portrait ones are it's not exactly right. Yeah, that should match into one of them. I'll try and get a bit of a system going if the ones that I haven't really used are on the left. There we go. And over to the right, I've got some, I have some semi-sorted areas. So that should join up nicely. There we go, at the bottom. And there, things are starting to fall into place nicely now. So that's one, the last one on the right side. And we've got some on the left. There we go. That's all of the edges taken care of now. And I'll start working on the stick, the branch. Looks like it's going to go into the very middle there. No, there, that, okay. Got its beak. And there's the back of its head. There we go. That's the part of its face I was missing. That should join up some now. I think that'll link up there nicely. No, that won't match up, so it looks like those 4 bits are in the middle and everything else joins around it. No, a little bit confused by this, but and I'll work on it by colors that I should be able to. There we go. It's not this part at all. It's a bit higher than I was looking. So I get the front of its face as well. Some of its colourful feathers and the claws. The edge of its beak. There's looks to be bottom of a claw here. So right about here. Of its head. Feathers on its wings. No. And there we go, its tail. So I got the last of its body now. And it does look like a very happy chap. So they'll usually sit up on branches and look down across a field and look out for effectively food. You'll see them eat like bugs and similar. And I've heard stories of them going after bigger things, like some rodents and I think possibly even snakes. But I've heard a story from a group that was helping out with a sporting event, and they would say that the kookaburras, if you had a sausage sizzle, if you weren't quick, they'd come down and grab the sausage, fly past, grab the sausage out of the hand as you put it into the bread. And that's the kookaburra. So I'll swap over to the kangaroo. So done the kookaburra. Let's do one of the notable Australian land animals as well as the birds. All right, so they've got the bottom right. Whoops, I just realized it was has been unlisted, so I've swapped it over to public. And welcome to anyone who joins in, and this is all they can see. But if you've got any questions, let me know. I'm happy to have a bit of a general chat about just about anything. So start with the bottom sections. I think that's the bottom left. That's an ear section. Yeah, put some up to the top. I'll put that out of the way. And just work on the bottom part for the moment. Should be a bit of its tail. And its legs. Not too sure what that, oh no, that's not the bottom section. Got some right, and then the top, so I'll move the bits that aren't, there's a bit more tail. And the paws as well. No, just having a bit of a something going wrong here. So it looks like the program's crashed. Yeah, they'll quit out of it and then relaunch it. Sorry about this. It should have remembered most of where we're at. Yeah, it's still got some of the sections on the bottom. So there we go. I've got a bit of its face. And some of the top, some of its eyes. That should match up with those. And there we go. That's top left and top right. I think there's yeah, going to match up. And then another one. No, it's not nestling in. There we go. They should be joining up nicely. Okay, so that's the left edges. So that should match up with the back sections. There we go, and that's the bottom of the edge of the grass and the area behind it. That'll match up with top right, so now I know. Oh, okay. This bit was a top piece that I didn't quite recognize. And that'll go in there with its back. Some of its fur. There we go, that's the missing piece of the puzzle. And the edges, so now I've got those sorted. I'll bring those in and bring everything in, make it a little bit bigger. So that should match up with that area, and it's plausibly out here somewhere. There we go, joining up its tail to its back. That section, well, yep, in the front of it. There we go, missing its legs for the moment. That'll fit in nicely. So it looks like there's another kangaroo off in the distance that's out of focus. I'll just slot these in by color. Then that's its loadout head. So you'll see these guys in a lot of places. Canberra is known as the bush capital, and you'll often see them in the suburbs there. Not always in as close to like the houses and similar. You can certainly go to parks and more often than not find one. They will come into the city in the parklands if it's dry, if they're after the feed in the normal spots, and I've seen them like come near the suburban shopping centres late at evening as well when they can feel more comfortable rather than the middle of the day. And that's one of the Australian kangaroos. What to do next? I didn't quite want to do. Yeah, okay. We'll do something a little bit longer. This is the other puzzles had about 50 pieces in them. This one's got about 90. And this is what people, well, it's getting pretty dark at the moment, but if you were in one of the prime spots for tonight's show, then this would be one of the sites like you'd be able to see. And so we've got one of the ferries that goes from Circular Quay up to Parramatta, and then there's the Opera House and then the CBD. So I'll get rid of that. And luckily enough, I've got the top lefts at the left. So I'll just go through and just try and sort them out at the moment with to rough areas and push the ones without edges away to the side. And again, use the pattern of starting at the outside and working our way through. So there's top right, and that looks like it match up with that one. Oh, maybe on a bit of a roll early. So move those out of the way and start with them up the top. So I'll just go back over to it and bring the preview up again. So this is a jigsaw puzzle of the Sydney Harbour Bridge, if we're out to the north side and looking down to across from the moment. No, that'll probably match up with that one. There we go. And there's the bottom right. That should match up. No, not with those. Okay. Put these ones on the right side. Bit of bridge on the top. And yeah, I'm not really too good at jigsaw puzzles. Another section of the top of the bridge. Bit of the opera house, I'll put that aside for later. There we go, that's some things joining up now, and that should match up as well. They should link up. That's going to be another bit like the opera house. So that's 2 bits of the opera house up there. No, they don't seem to join up, but that might fit in there as well. So I'll just go back and show what the end picture of this looks like. Not too sure how many squares up and squares across we've got. Oh, there's another missing piece of the bottom. That should line up with those. Yeah, sorry, I can't be too quite conversationalist at the moment. I'm trying to make sure everything is, we'll get it together quickly. I think I bit off a bit too more than I can chew with choosing a puzzle size that's a bit larger than no, that won't fit up. I did notice one of the other ones connected up to it, and there we go, we've got the whole bottom row in now. It's a bit missing here from left side. Oh, there we go. So, yep, one at the right side. Is that there? Everything's joined up on the right side now. And that's everything on the left. So just about everything be able to get some things to kick along now. Along nicely. So the Opera House would be, yep, just there. I think I might have to chip away a bit at the edges before going to it's stuck that one, and then get a bit more of the CBD in. Get the clouds. Yeah, that looks like, yeah, that's going to be the top of the Opera House there. Another bit of the CBD. Start moving the bits of the bridge over to the left. And then that's a bit of the underside of the bridge. Ah, yep, the ferry. Okay, completing the Opera House now. I won't put that too far away. I know it's going to be that section of the puzzle. That looks like a little bit of the end of the ferry, so I've got the far side of the bridge, so I had all these pieces piled up on top, so start, and it's a bit at the top that I put over here by mistake. Seems to be a far bit of the pylon over here. I'll go back and start working my way from the bottom. Looks like it should go in there. That's, yep, the blue matches the sky. Not too sure what that is though. Yep, yeah, okay. That's nice. That piece looks like it matches up with that one. And no, not quite. Go looking for these pieces. There we go. Running out of pure bits of sky left. Yeah, it's like that bit of cloud matches up with that one, but there we go, straight across the city. And that looks to be the underside of some of the bridge. Oh, there we go. There's a hidden bit of across the harbour. Bit of the city. No, that hasn't matched up. That looks like it'll match up by the edges. Doesn't quite match. There we go. Okay. All right, I'll see about zooming in a little bit more. And no, it doesn't quite match up. No, this looks to be a dark area as well. Now let's stick back to try and get rid of all of the blue bits and narrow it down and then work my way back in from the edges. Sorry, the voice is dropping off a bit. And got a top section of the bridge. I think that'll be in the middle. Okay. I'll just bring up the preview again to show what the whole bridge will look like. I'm a bit lost. If there's anyone that can see where any of the pieces go, let me know. I'm more than happy to take help from the audience. What's that? There we go. It's matching into the center section there. Yep, it's matching up with the bottom section. Oh, there's the last top piece. That's missed it most of the time. But yeah, if there's anyone watching, they wants to have a bit of a chat about anything, wants to hear me say anything they're not sure about saying, I'm happy to help out with that as well. Okay, so this one's got 4 concave bits, so that's probably it. And it looks like it matches into that one. That's there we go. That's everything seems to be falling into place. Not quite. There we go. It'll fit into there. And that should be the main component of the bridge. So there's some parts that will go underneath it as well for maintenance. Okay. So it'll zoom in now, and just to recover what's going on, we've got the Sydney Harbour Bridge. We've looking at it from the north side down south. There's the Sydney Opera House, the central business district of Sydney, one of the ferries that will travel up to Parramatta and similar. There are ones that go from Circular Quay, which is the main harbour there, and if you have a look real closely, you can see one of the larger yellow ferries, and they run to Manly, about a 20-minute trip to Manly from Circular Quay, and highly recommended. It goes right past the Opera House and then almost out through the heads. So that finishes up this one. That's one of the bigger, longer ones that I've got. I do have quite a few other ones that I've made. Really, I'm happy to take any requests. There's Kookaburra. There's another one from Bondi Beach at sunset. Another one showing just Bondi Beach during the day from aerial. And one at the sunset as well, where there's the ocean baths. A kangaroo Joey in the pouch. A kangaroo adult. The Opera House with the bridge. So as if we've walked from where we were onto the bridge and then looked down onto the Opera House, which is the one I'll do by default if I don't really hear anything. And if I end up starting one and you see someone wants to do something else, then I'm happy to come back out. There's one from the 12 Apostles of Victoria. Sydney Harbour at night. This one is looking from the south side, from the CBD. There's a lot of hotels in there, and looking out up to the lit Opera House and Sydney Harbour aerial. I did that earlier in the stream. Happy to go back and do it again. And I think I missed North Bondi and the ocean baths. So I'll jump into the Opera House viewed from the Harbour Bridge and bring up the preview from that. So it just seems to be a bit temperamental. So one side of the Harbour Bridge, you can walk along it. The other side, you can cycle along it. And the east side, you can walk across. And this one will jump in and show it has a lot more shipping than the last one. So I'll start again by working around the edges. There's the top left. And no, it's not the right side. There's top right. Doesn't seem to match up with anything I've seen so far. And bottom right should slot nicely into that one. No, it hasn't quite matched up. That's we join the ferry, which I'll put down below for now. And the opera house I'll put together. There's a river cat. So it depends on the type of boat, depends on where it's going. The ones that go to Manly are built differently, and sometimes they'll get into quite some rough seas out by the ocean near the Sydney Heads where it joins to the ocean. But the river cats, once they go up towards Parramatta, it's nowhere near as rough seas. I think that'll be the wake of this ship. No, that's too low for that piece. That should match up to the top bit. I'll leave it where it is at the moment. The top of the opera house. No, don't leave it off to the side. And that should be the back of the opera house, which will I'll leave it back off to the side for the moment. I'm not sure exactly where it'll go now. The edge of the sky to the harbour. And they should match up nicely. There's a missing bottom piece. Should be around about that one. Yep, there we go. It's joined up, and then missing left side. So there we go. Didn't realize that was the right hand side. They're starting to match up nicely now. No, that should go to the left side, yeah, not the right. And we've got the last top section. And just find a way to work in the rest of them. Bring the rest of the pieces in around. Zoom in a bit. There we go. And that piece there. So it does get to be quite a lot of traffic on Sydney Harbour as well. It can get very busy. I'm pretty sure it's going to be busy tonight. I saw on the news that there's a lot of police around doing random breath testing and checking in with people to make sure everything's okay. There was a big list of things that people can't take by the foreshore because we've got quite a few national parks where people can go into and view it. One of the places to walk to would be Mrs. Macquarie's chair, which is pretty much where I've got the cursor at the moment. There's viewing areas off to the left here of the bridge and all the way around the harbour there. But I think there's a lot of we've missed out on a few years of New Year celebrations and people going into go out and have a great night tonight. So I'll jump back to the collection. Sorry if I'm a bit don't quite have the presence at the moment. I'm still relatively new to this, but I'm happy to jump in, try out. If there's anyone has any questions, let me know in the chat. I'm happy to help out as I can. And what's the next one? Yeah, I'll go through the Sydney CBD, which is this one is if we walk to the harbour, the Sydney Harbour Bridge is off to the right hand side here, and as if we've walked over to the north side and then looking back over towards the city. So one of the notable attractions is the Centrepoint Tower. I think it's called something else now. Might be showing my age a bit. And we'll get started with some bottom pieces. See if I can stick some of the dark colored ones off to the right so they're not too far away. Should be able to do this one and make it appear a bit quicker than the other one. No, it's going to have to be one of these. There aren't that many pieces there. That should match in with that one, which will link in with this one as well, hopefully. No, it's not going to be that one. Should be this one then. There we go. That's the right size. And there's a double concave. And go through. So I'll pull those down to the bottom. It should fit into that side. I think it'll match up with the top. Yep. They should match up as there's not too much in the way of clouds and edges. They should fit together nicely. That's most of the top side right. No, they won't fit together. So that brings up the cloud, and then we've got a cruise, one of the cruise ships. That should link the top and the bottom with the building. Oh yeah, the bottom of the cruise ship, and then join it right up. I'll grab all the dark blue pieces and see what I can do to find all of those and try and narrow it down that way and remove as many pieces as I can and hopefully make the rest of the puzzle go easier. Oh yeah, that's the last top section. I'll move them into zoom in. There we go. These ones around the edges in. Okay, and no, that doesn't look like it'll match up with those sections of cloud. Probably best to work the way from the bottom. Well, it should be that one, huh? Okay, what I got right, I must be somewhere else. Yep, the Sydney Tower should be here. Then this one will go here. That building will be the main part, and then the last one to go there, and it's just the very top of the remaining buildings, and just some clouds to go. Yeah, if anyone has any questions, comments, please let me know. Or if I ended up spending a day pretty much, it was a little bit more to the east. It was almost right below the bridge one day, and it was great just to watch the ships go past, and ended up getting some nice photos of that sunset as well. Don't have any handy at the moment, but I'll see about going on to the next one. I think I'll do one last one of the Sydney Harbour and go yes to restart it. I didn't expect it to. Sorry about that. I think I got it to the point where I couldn't see. All right, we're back. I'll move all of the pieces close in together and then zoom in. I'll start on the top and try and figure out the tops and bottoms. Got the Opera House again and a bit of the bridge. Some office buildings off to the left-hand side here. And that ship, the wake of the ship matches up with the other one. And that one's going to be around the bottom as well. So we've got Kirribilli Point. No, that one won't match up with that, but should link up together. And then I think we've got all the top of the row set. So there's the side of the bridge, the top of the bridge, that's bottom part of the opera house. So once I know where I can put these, I'll try and get them in as quick as I can. But at the moment, it's work my way around the edges and try and put the most of the puzzle together at the moment. It should be the bottom of the opera house, so that should match up nicely. And that's the undersection of the bridge. That'll be the bottom right section. And there's the other bit of the bridge, so they're roughly that part together. Just not sure where they go in the big picture of the puzzle yet. I think this is a very short puzzle. It's not very tall. I think that piece is going to join up with the other piece there. So we'll get this out of the way. And see if I can bring it down. I'm pretty sure it's, yeah, they are going to match now. So, okay, I'll bring that into the middle and move everything here as close as I can around it, and then zoom in a bit more, which means that that should fit in there nicely now. There we go. So I can't quite bring you New Year's Eve fireworks from the harbour, but I can show you the harbour that's going to be celebrating the New Year very early. And it's a very nice place to be. I know this is over to the left side, just not sure where. There we go, that's the south side of the harbour bridge. And then we've got the Botanical Gardens here, Circular Quay, and the Central Business District. We've got the train line that runs across as well. Central Station is probably a bit off to the edge here, but there's train lines along. And Milson's Point is right on the edge of the train to the bridge to the north. So if you wanted to get off and get the train and go for a walk, that would be the one to go to. This is the expressway leading up to the bridge. No, that's, yeah, they're around there. So I just got the north shore of Sydney to go. And that should match up with that. And then the last part is the Prime Minister's residence in Sydney, Kirribilli House. And there we go. Sydney Harbour from the air. I'm going to wrap it up here. I've gone a bit longer than I thought, and I think I'm starting to feel it go on my voice. But I do want to keep doing these ones as well, do jigsaw puzzles of pictures, describe them, and make myself available for chat. If anyone wants to have a chat along the way, so I can still planning on doing the normal ones. I'm also looking at doing the puzzles. I've got some that I've started putting out. If you have a look in the channel and check out the Connectogram playlist, I'm not putting notifications out at the moment because I don't quite feel they're ready to go. I've listened to some of the first two, and I've got to stop saying all the time. I don't know whether I've done it here as well, but sorry if I have. I wanted to see about making myself available for a chat, and that way people can drop in if they've got any questions about anything, and even see about if have some sort of roleplay conversations. I've been looking online. I remember seeing someone saying they were getting a new job working in a cafe. They weren't sure about having people's orders. So if someone wanted to jump into something like this, and then if they ask me something else, I'll see what I can do about, even if I finished up a Jigsaw stream, started a new one, where that way the person could interact and type through there in the chat, and could then ask for several different orders of coffee and see if they could catch what I was ordering and have a bit more practice like that. But I wanted to make myself more available. I still think it's going to sound like I'm still relatively new at this, and I am, but what I wanted to do was just be available, be honest, and if people wanted to help learn English and be able to get through the experience and get an Australian perspective, point of view, accent, and to hear something else to the other people that they're working with, then I'm happy to help out. I'm happy to do what I can with the channel and see what I can. But I'll probably end up wrapping it up here, and just noticed someone's turned up as well. So, but I'll probably end up wrapping it up here. And if anyone's got any questions, comments, please let me know, and I'll see what I can do, because I'm happy to change direction for things that are working for people, for things that aren't, and try and make things work and help people get a better grasp of the language quick. So, and to try and if there's any questions, comments, then let me know. And everyone, wish a happy new year. So, yep, okay. I'll wrap it up there, and have a good night, everyone.